What's good, everybody? It's your boy Jetski Chuck back with another creepy and scary TikTok reaction video. If you haven't already, smash that like and subscribe button. We're on these Tartarian waters. You're gonna love it. It's a banger, I promise. Let's go. How you can
friends, family, and loved ones again. I just wanted to bring your attention to some information that's being provided about Tartarians and the great cathedrals that were allegedly Gothic and Renaissance period, horse and buggy, yada yada. But they had these huge, massive fireplaces everywhere. And what we're learning now is they were operated by radium. I had originally supposed that the rebar was somehow be able to heat it. I mean, we know how they cool these big, huge places, but they had these massive fireplaces that had these andirons here at the bottom. We'll get into. Notice the fleur-de-lis. But how did they heat these massive rooms? And we're learning now it's through radium. I thought it was heating up the rebar, but no, this is using X-radium heaters, and they sold them. You can get the old Sears and Roebuck magazines and see they're selling radium foot warmers and radium this and radium that. And then these huge fireplaces, how do they heat these huge rooms? Again, there's no fireplace here. This is all sealed, and this is very common in the ancients. These are called andirons, and this is what they ran on in this area here. They would generate heat throughout the entire room. And you see these huge, big, elaborate fireplaces all over, and then they have these two andirons here at the bottom. And this is the Chateau de Fenelon. And you see example now. And it looks like this group has broken the code to understand how these operate and how these work in these massive fireplaces. So Gothic, iron frame, and ornate. No, these were operated on radium. And the radium would heat the whole house. Like nuclear radiation, notice the sign there, just like nuclear radiation as well. So heating these all up. And then some of the comments here. My brother used to sell heat rods and worked in a similar way, conducting heat from the ether inside the house. So they're literally just tapping outside the ether to get the radium, the secret of life. Just like red mercury runs the copper domes, and red mercury is alternating current, and quicksilver it's also called. So that's another reason we don't see, there's all these quicksilver mines I learned about in California. Meet the amazing sight, the world destroyed before your eyes, a radium scope. So radium is something that is another hidden technology, hidden knowledge, natural recurring source that we have available to heat all the homes and to heat these massive cathedrals that had these andirons at the bottom that were radium, and they would grab the ether from the outside and heat the rooms. And the way they used air conditioning was they built a couple levels below the ground, and they literally would just open the vents. Heat rises, right? So you got the cold air down below. So you just open the vents in your rooms and everywhere, and you got instant air conditioning. So they had heat and they had air conditioning, and it was all free, cheap, and everyone had access to it. So I just thought you'd find this interesting. And don't you find it interesting that radium, the chemical symbol, is Ra? What is Ra? That's Apollo, the male god, Ra. And it's radium, natural occurring radioactive metal, radionuclide formed to the decay of uranium and thorium in the environment. Now remember uranium-235, that was what they were using in the nuclear bombs and stuff, they allegedly said, but we know that's not true because the nuclear bombs don't exist. But this also to hide radium and to hide the fact that radium is available and can heat all the homes and heat everywhere we want because it can tap into the ether and create free energy, free heat. And as far as the mercury goes, this is from my book about California mercury contamination, because they were harvesting mercury for this free energy in California. And you can see the mercury is still contaminating many of the areas, Silent Spring contamination. But yeah, mercury was very important for their development in the quicksilver. And then south of San Jose, they had a huge quicksilver. 1845, they had a huge quicksilver mine. And the island, when California was an island, the land between the Sierra Nevadas and California was called the Red Sea. And so this is with the quicksilver, red mercury. California mercurites produced roughly half the world's supply for the energy. And then you can see the quicksilvers here. So here's the antenna, the resonator, and then the red mercury. And mercury just with the heat, with energy, just moves, so it creates the alternating current. And then you have the copper domes, and you have the magnets on each side, and voila, free energy for all, folks. Free energy for all. And this is where Almaden is, where Silicon Valley is. So what quicksilver was for free energy in the mercury mines here, it became Silicon Valley, so silicon computers, that kind of thing. So just a little bit of history for you. But again, the production, 28,000 flasks of red mercury, 50,000 produced worldwide in 1851. So this was the free energy they used, the quicksilver from California, once they got into California, to take over and to put out the free energy everywhere. And here you can see, this is, I think, somewhere in China. You can see the free energy working. You see these collectors here at the top. They're being energized, and there's the energy harvesting from the ether, and they're bringing it down to Earth here, and you can just see the energy being fluctuated here in this picture. It zaps on and zaps off. So these are energy collections, all these spires, these towers that you see going up on all these Capitol buildings, these churches and whatnot. These were free energy harvesting centers. And just to close, this is a residence that was built in 1880s in Eureka, California. And Eureka, I founded gold. So this mansion was built in the 1883s, and my son and I went up to Humboldt County, up to Eureka to check it out. So I'll just play this, but you can see where the free energy devices are also in these buildings back then. And then who had the craftsmanship to build this during the gold rush and the logging on top of it? All the way up there. And you see the Wi-Fi, see that up there, Jackson? See the Wi-Fi? See the very top? Zoom in there, you see those wires sticking out? That's your free energy right there. That's your free energy right there. That's how they got the free energy for the buildings. That's how the Tartarians did it. Beautiful. And then I was just talking with this gentleman.
Cool was that, actually seeing that building in China, actually harvesting the ether. That was a gem, showing you it still works. You could see the electricity getting pulled in from the building. That's free energy for that entire building, and who knows how else. And I'll tell you another thing, all older buildings, you're all under suspect now. We're on to you. If it was an 1800 building and older, chances are that boy was generating energy. Look at the top, look at for the copper peaks, and look for that giant antenna. Even in your downtown homes, it can be an old home anywhere. I'm telling you, anywhere you look, an older home, chances are them boys was generating ether.
Alright guys, we've been to a lot of different old world places on my channel, but I finally made my way into the actual Parthenon that most people actually think wasn't the real Parthenon, but I'm under a deeper inclination when you really look into the old world in and of itself. Here we have her, Statue of Athena. Just to give a size comparison, look at that lady compared to that right there. That's Nike. She's holding in her right hand. I love hearing all the people chatter around me talking about, Greek gods and goddesses and all these different mainstream stories, but they're not even looking into the old world aspects whatsoever. And they don't even really realize what they're looking at. Shield of Athena, 15 feet in diameter. It's hard to put that in perspective on this phone, but that thing is absolutely massive, guys. The structure in itself is just as impressive as Athena. The doors right there are perfectly balanced. See a gentleman standing next to him. They're locked right now, but perfectly balanced doors. Six four. That's how tall Nike is. Get some reference of how big that is.
Is that made out of real gold?
Battle of the Gods and Giants. Tell you a lot without telling you a lot, right, guys?
They tell you a lot without telling you a lot, man. I love how you said that. That was perfect. Shout out to Fallout Truth 92 for that video, man. I didn't even know that thing existed or was even out. Who do you think made that is my question. And is it made out of gold? Your comments below.
So people, this is the golden statue.
If you guys don't know what the golden statue is, and this is the first video you ever seen from your boy, the golden statue was actually in the World Fair. It was damn near the centerpiece. Where it's at now, I don't know. I think it's in Chicago, but this is a giant solid piece of gold statue. I wonder who made this one as well.
And what they show online is always the front, but they never show the rear part. On the rear, if you look closely, it says the World's Columbian Exposition, authorized by Act of Congress and generously participated in by the nations of the earth, was held here in 1893 to celebrate the 400-year anniversary of the discovery of America. On this site stood the administration building. Now, why they use 400 years from 1492? Because 400 years celebrates the conquering of the last Moorish stronghold empire. Again, exposition meaning inquisition, conquest. So, but on the front of this is called the Republic. So people, this.
All right, guys, this was the golden statue. I believe this is the World Fair, and this was way back. This is what he was talking about before. Let's check out these ancient photos.
man, it screams ancient Rome, right? And that's what we're seeing is almost the passing of the torch from Rome to the new Rome, which is going to be America. And we're going to see Roman symbolism throughout. Columbia is one of them. She is, the golden lady it was 65 feet tall. And supposedly she was made of all gold, whether it was gold leaf or solid gold. You'll get differing opinions. Now, what's interesting about it is supposedly at the end of the fair, they lit her on fire and burned her down. And it was almost like a symbolic ritual.
Yeah, like Bohemian Grove or something.
Yeah.
Where all the giants have gone. They used to be everywhere. Have you ever wondered where all the giants have gone? They used to be everywhere, walking this earth. But now, you don't see them. Remember, there was a time where everything grew big due to the amount of oxygen that the giant trees used to produce. But as you know, they chopped them all down. And anybody still capable of growing big gets labeled with having a disease. They call it giantism. They get prescribed medicine, more like poison, which stumps their growth. And I always find it funny that they could tell you what dinosaurs was eating and what they looked like 5 million years ago. But was you even there though, bruv? And some of you may not be aware, but any so-called dinosaur bones that they do find, they only find pieces. Most of that skeleton what you see there are reconstructed, fake bones. But anytime they do find any real giant bones, Smithsonian comes in and destroys them. But in the 1600s, the Spanish did capture a two-headed giant, and that is still on display. But like most facts of history, they still don't teach you the truth. Have you ever wondered where all the giants have gone?
That lady was huge. You see how big she was? She was holding that baby like this on her hand. It was huge. These airships was putting in work, I'm trying to tell you. Wow, look at this. They're dropping down like a parachute to light the soldiers or something. What type of light could power that? That is interesting.
So much of Great Tartaria has disappeared. The incredible looking Tartarian griffin is used on the coat of arms of the Crimean Republic in Western Russia and the Altai Republic in Southern Russia. Additionally, the Tartarian griffin is used as the griffin flag for the town of Verkhyaya Pishima in the Sverdlovsk Oblast in Western Russia. Among the most destructive astra or pointed stick was the advanced device known as the Brahmastra, the infinite reality pointed stick, which had apparently been created by the Hindu Indian deity called Brahma Ishvara. From what has been mentioned in the Hindu scripture, the device was described as a single projectile charged with all the power in the universe. It was an unknown weapon, an iron thunderbolt, and
That reminds me of the iron rod in the Bible. Seeing this, I'm just putting the similarities two and two together. You know, as soon as they're talking about this thing with this immense power, it seems like an iron rod. That's mentioned in the Bible.
enormous messenger of death, which reduced to ashes an entire race. There was neither a counterattack nor a defense that could stop it. Enthralled by the Bhagavad Gita, or Song from the Creator, the Vedic Hindu Indian scripture that was written around 1760 BC. Julius Robert Oppenheimer began Sanskrit studies so he could read the text in the Sanskrit language. While he was a professor before World War II, he has known to quote numerous passages from the Mahabharata, or Great Being Maintained. He would do this in every class lecture. The Great Exhibition.
How intelligent was Oppenheimer? He learned the whole language just so he could translate the original manuscripts. That's what I want to do. I want to learn Paleo Hebrew so I can translate the old manuscripts myself. You know, that was intelligence. And I don't know if you guys seen the movie Oppenheimer. It has a few weird scenes in it, but I like how at the end, spoiler alert, they kind of alluded to Operation Fishbowl when he was talking to Albert Einstein. If you listen to what they said and watch what they're doing at the very end of the video, for entertainment purposes only, don't come for me. But it looks like they were on Operation Fishbowl and Operation Dominic at the end. What are they really trying to do with the firmament? They showed you.
Was to showcase the wonders of new technology. The Great Exhibition was to showcase the wonders of new technology.
Hold on, I'm just going to catch you guys up a little bit. I did see this one before I watched it, but you guys heard of the old world fairs. Now, this was a giant exhibition that took place, and he's going to tell you where it took place, but it was in a different country or something. But anyways, this was a giant world fair that took place, but there was also a giant expedition. This is what this video is about.
Industrial Revolution had made United Kingdom the world leaders in mass industrialization. The Great Exhibition was held in Hyde Park, central London in 1851. Apparently, the construction of the Great Exhibition, or Crystal Palace Exhibition, began in 1850. Yet again, the vast and highly ornate structures were seemingly built very quickly and with tremendous efficiency, just like the other world fairs around the planet. The different plans and proposals were initiated from the 15th of March 1850, and construction was completed for the opening of the festival for the 1st of May 1851. History has been...
Huge shout out to Zachary Denman for that content. If you guys want to check him out, I highly recommend you do so. His name is Zachary Denman. I'll put a link to his videos in the comments.
Has been largely fabricated and is now a subject of mundane information which does not educate the masses. But the reason there is so much confusion, depression and sadness in the world is because we have been consistently deceived, and most do not even care, as they are so intensely programmed to accept the distortions and lies that are given to them. We have been educated with what someone wants us to believe, but not what we are supposed to factually believe, which is the truth. A lot of individuals have lost themselves and forgotten who they actually are. So by remembering what these buildings were truly used for by the Tartarians or the old world, we can begin to remember our true potential.
So the question is, what actually was Great Tataria? Well, it was two things. One, it was a geographic delineated landmass, which was predominantly across northern Russia. And that would include the Kola Peninsula, which is where the Murmansk Oblast is today in northwestern Russia. And obviously the Polar Ural Mountains, the northern Ural Mountains of north central Russia, and the Yakutsk Peninsula, right the way northward from the Sea of Japan up in northeastern Russia, and obviously including Siberia, that the far Russian east, as it's known today. So it was a vast geographic extent and expanse. And at the same time as that, it was also a culturally based civilization. So Great Tataria, in terms of the Tatarian architecture, its music, the various processes they used.
Because it would seem they go back to as far as like when the Vimanas and the old techs and these old technologies that are around. So tell us more.
I think if you go back to what history won't accept is the unofficial founding date of the development and the emergence of Great Tataria on the 16th of February, 458 BC. And then its actual further scientific development, really, which was the time when many of these rudimentary airships were actually starting to be commercially manufactured across Great Tataria in northern Russia from the 4th of October, 1586. So, during that time, we're talking about the medieval period. In terms of what Western science is going to say, they're going to say that's absolute nonsense, that's ludicrous conspiracy theories. So if we look over the span of generations, many of these Nordic Tatarians or Tatarian Aryans constructed the luminescent cities such as Molgom, Bayada, Kambulik, and Bargu in northern Tataria. And the scientists in those various cities were manufacturing the cymatic-based occult technology. So obviously this was for healing purposes in the healing temples that were eventually repurposed as chapels, churches, and cathedrals, not just in parts of what is the Russian Federation today, but across the Caucasus region, Eastern Europe, Western.
Guys, I try not to stop it, but did you see that last building?
Caucasus region, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, North America, Latin.
This is incredible too, man. This building is incredible.
In America and so forth. And what they were doing also was developing different types of anti-gravity based.
Look at the ceiling, man. What happened? Where did we go wrong?
Occult technology for the purposes of levitating stone blocks and brick and very heavy construction materials that could be used in the development and of their own buildings across their towns, repurposed as chapels, churches, and cathedrals, not just.
This building, this is the building I wanted to see. Why have we stopped building this? This building, if I'm looking at this and I had to take a guess, man, this thing had to be made probably about 900 years ago. 900 years ago. Look at the copper, the work. You would need a crane nowadays. If you asked us to make this now, you would need probably 2 cranes, some industrial sized powered vehicles running on gasoline to make this. They made this 900 years ago. Wow. Look at how tiny the people are. So for something this massive, it blows my mind. Either they had they were using some type of vibration to levitate these pieces, either that, or they had a portal that they were transferring the pieces. But even if they had the portal, how could they place pieces on top? So they had to have a portal and some type of levitation technology. They had to have a portal and some type of levitation technology. And it had to be a giant for entertainment purposes only. You would need 2 big boys to be like, all right, man, y'all want this here? All right. Set it there. I don't know. Nobody knows. You got all these people trying to dissect and figure this out, talking about Tartaria. Nobody knows how this stuff got built. And it was done fast. It's not like there's like, all right, we can take our time with chisel, stack a whole bunch of blocks together as best we can and chisel this out. No, this was done in 6 months.
Federation today, but across the Caucasus region, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, North America, Latin America, and so forth. And what they were doing also was developing different types of anti-gravity based occult technology for the purposes of levitating stone blocks and brick and very heavy construction materials that could be used in the development and
I gotta talk to this dude, Stefan Denman, writer slash researcher. Man, he might be the coldest person on this Tartaria tech. If you thought I was tight, this is the dude that's, I ain't gonna lie, I get into the mercury rectifiers, hey, your boy Jesky Chuck on the mercury rectifiers. But my man right here, as far as breaking down civilizations and the technology and the architecture, man, this dude is out cold. We need to get a live going or something. Where is he?
Of their own, buildings across their towns and cities. And then the actual usage of them was repurposed from something that was rather peaceful to do with leisure time and holidays, a form of social tranquility, and a sort of a sky-based adventure for Nordic Tatarians. I mean, you just a look at the contrast of what went on. So you take these beautiful airships, and we know that they had specific names for these. In Tartaria, for example, the actual airships were given different names, such as the Hawi Gamila, or airships, also known as the Asma Gamila, or sky ships. They were also known as the Havig Gamila, or again.
All right, I gotta interrupt because I got something important to say. That's why we don't see the Tartarians anymore. They done built all those ships and like, man, y'all want Russia? Y'all can have this, man. We done found something beyond the ice. There's land beyond it. And I was like, man, we about to go beyond the ice and start a whole new civilization. Man, y'all fighting about this stuff in Russia and all that, man, y'all can have this. We're gone. You don't need gasoline or, whatever type of fossil fuel we're using now to travel around. They were just in the atmosphere traveling off the ether. So who knows how far they can go? They can definitely go past beyond the ice wall. The elements aren't affecting them. If you go beyond the clouds, all that cold and all those elements that people go through, that's done. That's under the clouds. All you got to do is stay warm and make sure your oxygen right. And it looks like they had that. They were ready. They mass produced those ships, man, they're gone. It's like, y'all can Russia, y'all can have this. We tired of fighting China off on the Great Wall of Tartaria. We're tired of fighting them off. We're tired of people taking our ideas and making us move and stuff, man. We're gone.
Airships, and also known as the Gok Gamila, or sky ships. And there was maybe 25, 30, maybe 35 or more different kind of aerodynamic design.
Before we move on, they had over 30 different designs of ships. Back then, they were busy. I should have made an airship for this video, man. Be on the lookout for another one, man. It take a lot of work on your boy, making them airships. I mean, making a submarine. I don't know how many of y'all saw the last video with the submarine. That took a lot of work, but be expecting the airship video coming out soon, because I'm not done. You guys said they have 25 different styles of airships. Oh, we're going to find them. Not on this episode, but best believe on another episode, we're going to dive in on those.
About the technology and what Tartaria, or the old world, what sort of technology they were using, and talk about these free energy based systems, these somatic based systems. Let's talk a little bit about that first of all.
Okay, so if you go back to the old world order of Great Tartaria in northern Russia, they were using obviously basically somatic based occult technologies that were drawing down telluric electricity from the atmosphere above the towns and cities of Great Tartaria. So obviously they had spires, they had domes. These had metal strips that would then run down these buildings into the capacitors in the basement levels of many of these premises, some of which would go into the ground level. And then any excess amounts of this telluric electricity, telluric in the sense of that it's interconnecting with the geomagnetic ley lines, that pretty much all the buildings in all the towns and cities of Great Tartaria. But then you take a look, for example, at the work of Leonardo da Vinci and what you were discussing with the various drawings that he did. Where did that come from? I mean, he had a drawing of what appeared to be a helicopter and I think a submarine as well. So where did that?
That's right. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, where did that information come from? Well, you have to remember the Jesuit order of the Roman Catholic Church and the Vatican City State in Italy. It was fully part, obviously, what went on in Central America and South America with the Spanish conquistadors, and the various European monarchs. And that was really about removing occult technology that had been commonplace amongst the Aztecs and the Inca and the Toltecs and the Mayans. And obviously what went on, in South America was very similar, especially in countries like Brazil and Argentina and Chile.
If you look at those giant antenna structures, that makes you wonder about what the Eiffel Tower was really working on. Because if you take a look at the Eiffel Tower, if you ask me, that's just a giant conducting building. We don't know how long the Eiffel Tower's been there. But if you ask me, there's a giant structure under, for entertainment purposes only. Don't come for me. And if there is, my bad for exposing y'all. But if you look at the Eiffel Tower, that's a giant conductive antenna. So who knows what's up under that boy? What type of ether they're generating, what type of research they're doing, what type of old world technology is going on. But that Eiffel Tower, I'm telling you, that's a giant conductive boy, just like the rest of these we're going through, that's been on top of these giant gold pillars. I'm telling y'all.
The actual crystal glass windows in these cymatic-based healing temples also use refined macrocrystalline substances that included diaphanite, which is also known as clear quartz, amethyst, which is known as also purple quartz, galazine, which is also known as blue quartz, coconite, which is also known as red quartz, or most people will recognize as ruby. You also have citrine, which is also called yellow quartz. You have galactodite, which is also known as milky quartz, rosine, which is known as pink quartz, and lastly, prasiolite, which is known as green quartz. So they were experts in the use of a purified crystallic production in order to create these beautifully perfected and very ornate geometric colored stained glass windows to ensure specific types of wavelengths of photons or light. But what we know is that there were actually the archaeological.
This dude is spitting. This is Sacred Wisdom for real. Shout out to the Sacred Wisdom podcast. My man right here, he is cutting up. He's letting it all go.
Remains of Hyperborean pyramids that have been found, by the way, by various Russian archaeologists and other researchers in the Russian Federation, in that area around the perimeter of the Gobi Desert. So we know that these Hyperborean pyramids, they were granite based, they were known as the Shining Pyramids. They existed there, or crystal pyramids, and we have to remember the word crystal from kristallos in the Greek language actually means solidified light or frozen light. That's actually its etymology, and that's really what a crystal is. It's literally like light that is almost slowed down and captured in some kind of rudimentary geometric structure. So these pyramids were generating huge amounts of transmitted telluric electricity. They were basically power-based, but Western science does not want to accept.
Did you hear that? He said telluric electricity. I never heard that before.
That there was some kind of Arctic North Polar region based civilization that we can call Hyperborea, where there was an eternal spring, which really meant there was a 12-month all year round temperate climate. There wasn't sub-zero temperatures. They didn't have a distinct 12-month period with spring and summer and autumn and winter. We know that the Hyperboreans, were connected to what were known as the Hyperborean giants, or the Cyclopean giants of Hyperborea. So we have to postulate the idea, were the actual forefathers and foremothers of the Nordic Hyperboreans, were they 12 foot to 14 foot high, Hyperborean giants, polar region based civilization that we can call Hyperborea. Where there
I
was an
wanted to
eternal
rewind
spring,
this because he
which
showed
really meant
some
there was
important stuff I never seen in high quality. If we fast forward to this building right here, shout out to Cultivate the Elect. I remember him showing a creepy and scary TikTok where they were referring to these as actual portals. So who knows what type of technology that they were generating to make these become portals. Where was the other portal to? I don't know. You know, but they were calling these bad boys portals. Don't take my word for it. I'm not trying to waste your time. Look it up. These creepy and scary TikToks they will change your reality. I'm not going to lie. I won't go by all of you. Go downtown and start looking at them buildings and look at the tops of them. You're going to be like, man, that was an ancient Tartarian building. Somebody that has, at least is the archetype, that has the archistructure of an old Tartarian building with the great pillars and the fancy art on the top. And then normally it's a copper dome with some type of electricity right there. That's the blueprint. And they everywhere. It's low key with it. They done got rid of most of them, but I'm telling you, if you go downtown, all of you, it don't matter where you live at, I guarantee you there's going to be at least one or two of those buildings. Capitol buildings. This is for entertainment purposes, but the Capitol buildings, any type of legislative building, any type of, building that you don't want to go to handle work. So I think that's the vibe they're trying to give off. Oh, these people are just going to go and get their work handled. They're not going to really care about what the scenery looks like. Like that door on Kansas. I'll go back and show you that door at Kansas, those two giant doors in Kansas. People walk right past those two giant doors all the time. And let's go to it, man. Because I don't know. Some of y'all returning viewers, some of y'all new. I'm trying to catch y'all up, man. Let's go back. Shout out to Cultivate the Elect. While we were on this topic, on Tartaria, we're talking about the portal buildings. This is what I'm talking about.
Look at that detail. I mean, can you really believe that these things were built up that fast? And they just kept throwing up buildings. I mean, they must have been like the Energizer Bunny, just building things so fast that we can't even comprehend that they can build entire cities like that while being in a survival state. And somebody just said the Palace of Fine Arts. Yes, that's what that was. And here you go. Another San Francisco. Looks exactly like Chicago, looks exactly like St. Louis, exactly like New York City, exactly like South Carolina. The people who attended. Got all those people. I mean, look at that. These are massive buildings. And what's interesting is when you go through this book, you see that all of those buildings are called portals. Portals of this, portals of that, portals of this, portals of that. The name portal is very common. And all of these things, when you start to look at the design in all of these cities, they do look somewhat like portals where you would go and you would kind of go through something. So you have to sit there and go, when you look at the history lessons in which we have been sold with horse and wagon, that's not the timeline in which was taking place at this time. But then, as they destroyed a lot of stuff, then they started teaching us something new. That a bunch of people on horse and wagon were just roaming across, building across the frontier from another end.
There's definitely some validity, a lot of validity, if you ask me personally, that what he's talking about and what's adding on up to this Tartaria. Shout out to Cultivate the Elect. Now, there's another building. There's something else I was alluding to. The ancient Tartarian buildings in everyone's town and cities. They're there. Trust me. Like, people ignore them all the time. They walk right by them because it's normally an important building that you don't want to be there long. You got to handle business. You're not really going to pay attention to the surroundings like that. Or they just why they chose those buildings, I don't know. But let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, guys, I got a treat for you. It took me a little bit to find this video. This door shows you how these old Tartarian buildings are thrown right in front of your face in your own hometown. I don't care where you live. You name it, I guarantee you're gonna find at least one or two of these buildings in your home city. Look at this, for example. They throw it right in front of your face.
10th and Baltimore here in Kansas City in the downtown, and right behind me is the building. It says at the top over the entrance, New England National Bank. And I'm going to turn around, and this building is right across from the historic library and straight up the street from a really incredible building. But I want to stay onto this building right now because the front door is amazing. You can see, of course, we've got a lower level here and an angled level as the street goes along. And what were lower windows, that one's boarded up. But the door is really incredible. I want to give you an idea of how high it is. 6 feet is right about to the bottom of that circle on the door. And you can see how high that goes. And these doors are like iron, solid iron.
These buildings are in your hometown. I can't stress it enough. When you're traveling, when you're in a different state or city, you know, these creepy TikToks, they will change your reality, because I'm telling you. Or they just not, the videos ain't going hard enough. But the videos I'm dropping, man, these boys, I'm telling you, these are everywhere.
Up here, now that's as high as I can reach. It's about 9 feet. These doors are at least, I'd say 15 feet high. And to even put them in place would have taken a crane basically to haul those in place. And they've put spikes to keep the birds from landing right there. But then these lamps to either side are really incredible also. And it really doesn't look like there was anywhere to light those lamps. This building would have been built. On the notion that they were gas lit, that you would have had to light
This is what
every
they need
night.
to be teaching in schools.
And just to give you a look at the scale of that building, it's red brick above. This is obviously a facade that's been put on down below.
And one of you guys said something very important. I don't know which one of you guys said it, but you guys said the red brick might have contained mercury. And if it did, that was excellent of you to say, because that could be another resource that they could have used to harness the ether. Because I do believe a recent study by scientists said that red brick can be energized. Hey, I'm not trying to waste your time. Do the research yourself. You'll see what I'm talking about. Well, I'm not trying to waste your time.
But you do not see doors like that anymore. This door, you can see from the side, there's a screw, and I mean, I'm not even budging it by pushing on it. It's just incredible. Then straight across the street, it's the incredible library, which says First National Bank, with a massive safe in the basement. And the interesting thing about the door on it is it looks like it originally had doors like that also. Well, they're still there. But that the inner part, the ones that they utilize now, are just makeshift doors that were put there later. Because these doors are the same. And I would say that they're even taller. And you can see this that I'm holding right there weighs, probably over 15 pounds. Just that. And the feel of that door
Thing is solid.
feels like it would weigh maybe 1,000. You ever look at that door? These doors are incredible. Well, pick that up and feel.
You hear him? He said, you ever look at that door? This is the whole reason I played this video. Cause look at this dude. He walks right past it like it's nobody's business. People just don't care. They like, man, I'm trying to get. I don't even know what I'm gonna eat today. I got bills I gotta pay, rents due. You know, I don't feel the best. So the last thing I'm concerned about is some doors on the side of me, man. Watch out, move. I got somewhere to go. I get it, but hey, you've been lied to. It's an important lie that's going on here. You know, they're lying to us.
What, 3 inches? 4 inches wide. What do you think it's made out of? Grass. There's grass. Look at that. It is. Look, China, there's grass. That's straight grass. Just this doorway. How could they ever manufacture this in a time when they say they only had a horse and a buggy? Or build this building? Yeah, oh yeah, I'm always fascinated. What do you say? See that door across the street?
I would love to hear explanation. If you think you know it, and you know that well technically they had a horse and buggy and a lever pull system that was able to winch the door up on one side. 10 people use their strength together to use the pulley and rope system, and then we got it perfectly. Hey, you can miss me with all that, but I'd love to hear you try and see how humans could have possibly did it on horse and buggy technology.
Go look at it closely. I never noticed that, but I've never shown that architecture. You want me to tell you a secret? Sure. There's those that say. I never noticed that.
Look how he got closer. He was like, "Sure. What was the secret?"
But I look around. I tried to, but that's down there. Oh yeah. Oh. Wow. Oh, I love the city. I was born here 61 years ago. You want me to tell you a secret? Yeah. There's those that say that these buildings have been here for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, and that there was a flood that came in of mud that covered them up, and that's why you see windows on the sidewalk that went lower. Originally, they were much higher. You know, that could be. Oh, well, I don't know.
See, look, you see that lady walking by? She probably just was being polite, trying to get out the way, but people don't think twice. They got other stuff they worried about. These giant doors on the side of this building, boy, move. I don't got time for that.
What do you think about that? Yeah, because you look at up there. I mean, look, every so many feet, there's count. They can't even build. They can't even build that now. Right.
All right, y'all. Sorry, I went on a little rant tangent. We went sideways a little bit talking about the portals and the Kansas door. My bad. I get excited, but it was an important fact that I was trying to bring and show you guys. But let's continue on with this creepy and scary TikTok reaction video.
Connected to what were known as the Hyperborean giants or the Cyclopean giants.
Damn, this video is already an hour long. Man, I wasn't trying to make these boys long, man. I'm trying to do 25, 26, 27-minute boys like everyone else, man. But, you know, we be on these waters. And once we get on these waters, it is no turning back.
Giants.
I don't do 1 hour, to everyone watching these, I don't do 1 hour videos on purpose. That's just how they end up. We got some stuff we got to get off our chest, man.
Of Hyperborea. So we have to postulate the idea, were the actual forefathers and foremothers of the Nordic Hyperboreans, were they 12 foot to 14 foot high, you know, Hyperborean giants? The schematics or the blueprints or templates for those types of occult technology had really come from Great Tartaria. And obviously before Great Tartaria, we go back, as you know, we've discussed in some detail in a previous Sacred Wisdom podcast, to the time of the civilization of the Scythian Aryans. And before then, the civilization of Hyperborea, that was so prevalent across the Arctic North Polar region, and obviously including, therefore, Greenland, Iceland.
What is that? This is like a superconductor. Look at it. It's got the crown on it. That's a superconductor with the copper. Man, we got to catch up. We are behind.
Spitsbergen and northern Russia. So it's like there had to be this complete state of progressive deletion, a complete erasing.
This was an actual what they use for the airships. You'll see the airship fly right up. It'll connect the dot on the top of it. I just never seen one in such good quality. They'll just come around. I don't know if they got to touch this ball or the top. I don't know, but the airship will come hover right here. I don't know if it's magnetic or what, and it just charge up like a wireless charger for your phone. You know how you set your phone on the charger, wirelessly charge? That's the same principle I believe was going on here with those ancient airships. It just is. It looks like you can go see this one. Like they still got it. They haven't got to this one yet. I would love to be there at the World Fair just to see the lights, the different buildings. What do we have to look forward now? You know, besides kicking it with family and, you know, events, we don't got no World Fairs popping off. Best we got is Cedar Point. We got zoos. We got museums. You know, look at that, man. How tight would that be to walk around with your family, holding hands, eating exotic foods? You know, it's just, I'm starting to believe we're definitely going backwards now. You know, I used to think, oh man, these new computers, these new cars, you know, how cool. Nah, that ain't it, bro. We are officially going backwards, my guy. The classiness, the elegance, the actual care for artistic architecture when they were building. You know, their buildings meant something. They just didn't throw it up because it saved money or it was a great price. They threw those boys up with a meaning, a purpose. Those statues, the golden statues, you know, they had some type of meaning. The meaning might have not been good or bad, but at least they had an artistic expression, is the point I'm trying to get across. Oh, that was crazy. Yeah, this is AI. Alright, y'all, that's it for today's video, man. If you made it this far, put the 100% great video. When you put the 100% great video, it really helps the algorithm out in the comments, and it helps this video get out to the masses. And I thank you to all my supporters that be liking, subscribing. Shout out to the notification gang that you hit that bell and hit all, notificate all. So as soon as I drop a video, you right there on the spot, man. The video don't even play and y'all be hitting like. I'd be like, dang, you know. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, man. My fault I went on a little tangent on this one. Normally I have them lined up and, you know, I let them go back to back. You know, my bad, y'all. I wanted to talk about it, man. I'm going to try to get those two dudes, man, in an interview or something, man. Get like a live stream going with them, man, because they were extremely knowledgeable how they were talking about the different glass structure of the courts on the churches. How the information he had on the pillars, you know, it was a lot. And to be honest with you guys, this is a longer video and there's still more I wanted to say. I get to the end of these videos and be like, damn, I missed that, and that. You know, it's damn near 4 things I missed. You know, but again, man, I only get 24 hours in a day, and this video already an hour long. I gotta chop this boy up. I got no team or nothing. It's just your boy. You know, I do this, you know, full time, and I thank everyone that help support me. And yeah, I'm gonna keep trying my best to deliver this content for you. And I just want to say thank you so much. It means a lot to me. Drop in the comments what you think about this video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow on the next creepy and scary TikTok reaction video. Peace out.